Hey guys, it's Chelsea. So this week's video is going to look a little bit different. Obviously, really no gymnastics happening. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I've actually gotten a lot of requests on how I do my makeup. So I figured I would try to walk you how I do one of my favorite looks, which is purple, and tell you more about the week and talk about what happened with my ankle and just go from there. So I guess we're gonna dive right in. One, I'm super awkward when it's just me talking to myself, so bear with me. And I've never done any kind of makeup tutorial, and I'm not a professional. This is just me and how I do my makeup. I probably do lots of things wrong, but I have a lot of fun with it, and it just washes off. So if we don't like it, we can always do it again, which is what I do. I always start with a primer, although mine isn't necessarily a primer. I've been using my MAC Paint Pot for probably 10 years now, and that's always what I put on my lids before I put any type of shadow. It just helps the color and just stay better. I can stay all day with it. My favorite shade is Bare Study. So ankle. That was not fun. Friday, so last week Friday, it's been exactly a week because I'm filming this today on Friday, but it's been exactly a week since I had a little not fun with my ankle. I was tumbling and I was doing 2.5, and I landed, and actually both ankles rolled out as I landed. My right took the brunt of it, and it just did not feel good. This is one of my newer palettes, the Urban Decay Naked. I'm gonna go right in with the color Optimized. My brushes are pretty clean. I try to wash them. I should wash them more than I do, but so yeah, both ankles rolled out, but the right one got it much worse than the left. And thankfully, well, right after it happened, usually Fridays are when my physical therapist Cheryl comes in. I had my dad call her. I was like, can you just make sure she's coming? She's actually pulling into the gym while my dad called her. So that was lucky. She kind of came in and assessed it right away, did some of the testing, and was like, I don't think it's broken or anything, which was thank goodness. But it did swell up pretty quickly and immediate, especially the right one. So that was my Friday. It was not fun, but bumps in the road happen, and honestly, I'm glad it happened like sooner than later. Obviously, you don't want anything to happen, but I didn't post a lot right away because I was just trying to process. I was allowing myself to like just be angry, be ticked off, and just not happy. It was really rough the rest of the day Friday. Saturday was a little bit better, and then Sunday finally I felt like I was turning a corner. And just in a better place mentally. And I'll add some pictures just to show you how beautiful that right ankle got. So the other thing that was really, really upsetting is I was invited to go to just a quick little one-day like check-in camp the Sunday that it happened. So the 4th, we were supposed to go down to Indy just to see Tom, see some of the other staff. Nothing, any kind of verification or anything like that, but it was just a check-in. And first I was shocked. I'll take you back to when I first heard about it. I was on a plane going out to Idaho for our vacation, and I got off the first plane in Minnesota, and I saw a text like when I turned my phone back on from my dad, and he was like, actually there was a group text from my dad, or from Tom Forcer to my dad and I, to give him a call. And my dad had answered. He's like, Chelsea's traveling all day, but I'll give you a call. And so I got my phone, and I was like, saw those two messages, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So it was like, just, I didn't know it was like what was going to come out of that. And I got really nervous. I'm like walking through the Minnesota airport with a stomachache, like, oh my gosh, what is this about? Then I got a hold of my dad, and he was like, yep, they want you to, or just want to invite you to come in. And that was like the second moment after I finally said I'm coming back. That was like the very second moment that I was like, oh goodness, this is happening. Like, I'm doing this. So that was like, it was a lot to take in. But it was a good thing. I don't know. I think it was a good thing that we were going on vacation, so I could just totally relax and get in a good mindset, because I was very nervous when I first heard that. So super excited about that. And Friday's practice is going really well. And yeah, I just took that bad landing. So I did go to the doctor as well. I usually put a little bit of this to help it under. Again, some people might not agree, but I don't really care because it works for me. This is just a light shade, like a liner. And I feel like it helps that color under my eye. I just feel like it helps it stick a little better. Anyway. See, I'm getting distracted. It's totally fine. But yeah, took that bad landing, and I was super bummed to not be able to go, because I was looking forward to it, but we'll see. Just because my very, very first conversation with Tom, when I had talked to him, and, you know, kind of putting out the feelers and be like, hey, what if I start training again? And he was super supportive, and obviously that was also at the height of the pandemic, not knowing if there was going to be camps the rest of the year or this or that. And he didn't think, for me personally, he might not bring me in until like January. So this was like a huge, I don't know, felt like a pat on the back to be like, oh, they want to see you sooner, which is really cool. So I liked that. I'm going to go, I want a little bit darker. There we go. A little more dramatic here. There we go. But yeah, so all this week, I've not done really any gymnastics or much flipping in general. I got on the tramp a little bit today, but that was mainly just back bounces, and stomach drops and things like that, where I wasn't putting too much weight on my ankle. Didn't want to swing, didn't want to do anything like that. Just doesn't make sense to push anything like too much too soon. I don't really use eyeliner much anymore. I love just using shadows because they're not quite as harsh sometimes, especially just like my everyday look. Otherwise, if I really want to go bold, I'll just use like a nice black one. But I just use my really skinny angled brush. And that's kind of what it's what I use for my eyeliner. But yeah, so this week took it really light, just conditioning, exercises, nothing to aggravate my ankle, because I saw my foot and ankle specialist who's helping me with my other issues. I saw him on Tuesday, and they did an x-ray just to, verify that there wasn't any little fracture or anything in there. And there wasn't, thank goodness. So yeah, so now it's just taking it slow, getting the swelling out, getting the swelling down, bruising down, trying to get some of that range of motion, all that stability, get that all back, because he did categorize it as like a grade 2 sprain, so not the worst, but not the best. But it's all good. It's a bump in the road. And then the last one, I do this one always with my finger. I'll tell you everything that I used. But I like highlighting a little bit up there, and I just like using it with my finger. I'm going to go in with this brush, probably put a little bit of that white towards the inside. Again, and I'm almost done. The only thing I didn't set out was my mascara. Don't use anything fancy. Just use my CoverGirl. But yeah, so bump in the road, but I'm happy that it wasn't anything super serious. I'm happy that I've made a lot of progress just within this week, and I can't wait to, you know, slowly start adding more again. And it's funny because I did post this week that I never ever, I never thought I would be doing vault again, let alone you doing your Cinco Double Fulls again. And that is, oddly enough, one of the things that I miss. So I'm starting to not completely dislike vault, which is crazy, because that was one of the events that really wasn't my favorite. Another little fun fact, I use both hands to do mascara. I don't like reaching over. So I taught myself for each eye to use that hand, so I guess I'm ambidextrous just when I put on mascara. Because otherwise, like, if I hold it the other way with my right hand, it feels super awkward, and I don't like that. So I've been doing this, I don't know, for a long time, but it works for me. Like I said, I can't do that. That just seems super weird. Props to everybody else who does it that way. But I like switching hands. I just feel like I have a little bit more control, and I just do it a little better instead of having that odd angle. So yeah, that is one of my favorite ways to do makeup. I love purple. Maybe I'll do more of these. We'll see how it goes. You can totally judge me on this because, like I said, I'm not a professional. I just love doing makeup. And now you know a little bit more what happened with my ankles. So there's going to be slow and steady progress, but we'll definitely be able to start adding more gymnastics in lately. If you want to know, again, the palette that I use is Naked Urban Decay Ultraviolet. The first color I put on was this Optimize, and then I used Purple Dust in the corners, and then I put a little bit of the Cyberpunk in the middle, and then I used this Lucid up on top and in the center of my eye. Well, this was fun. Not as fun as doing gymnastics, but I also love doing makeup. So thank you guys, and thank you everybody for your support and all of you who have reached out, and I will see you next week.